Is it time to go back to green? Hey, what's cracking everybody? Welcome back to Computer Games Hardware. With only a couple of days to go to the launch of the Nvidia 50 series, I want to talk a little bit about the architecture today, a couple of things that I like, a couple of things I don't like. Hey, just want to jump in here and say if you're enjoying any of the content on Computer Games Hardware, please check us a like, share and subscribe, and watching the videos really helps me out. So big thank you to everyone who's been watching the videos. You can join us on our socials, and we also have some affiliate links in the description below. So if you want to buy anything off Amazon, using the link in the description below really helps me out. We've also got some Windows keys and things like that, or you can support the channel directly by going to our PayPal. Thanks very much for watching. All right, let's get straight into it. First up, I want to talk about the three big things that I really like about Nvidia's Blackwell architecture. So the first thing we should probably talk about is the Blackwell architecture itself and the huge leap in performance that Nvidia is bringing forward to this next generation. Blackwell has been optimized for better performance per watt, and it really shows with the design of the Founders Editions cards. When you see the cooling solution that Nvidia has put in place, there is better optimization, more performance per watt at cooler temperatures. So that's going to be really exciting to see. I'm looking forward to seeing how those Founders cards perform with the cooling solutions that they have, but we'll talk a bit more about that later. Nvidia have also made some refinements to its enhanced shader execution reordering, which improves ray tracing efficiency and overall rendering speed. Nvidia have also increased the density of the CUDA cores, so we're getting a lot more CUDA cores, and they've been redesigned so they're much closer together and more efficient. That helps better multi-stream processing, so that's really exciting as well, because you've got to understand the GPU is in a tiny little package, so they've really had to condense things down and make things super dense. So it's interesting to see how this performs. These Founders Edition cards look absolutely stunning, and the small package that they're in is a really welcome surprise for me. I think they look absolutely gorgeous. The second big thing I want to talk about with the new architecture is GDDR7. So a massive increase with bandwidth and efficiency with GDDR7, and interesting enough, not GDDR7X like the previous GDDR6X, which was sort of like a proprietary Nvidia memory. However, Nvidia are the only manufacturers implementing GDDR7 this generation around, so they have a bit of an advantage over that, and that's going to probably make a big difference in performance and efficiency of these cards. So GDDR7 is supporting a much higher bandwidth, 36 gigabits per second, over the 24 gigabits per second of the 40 series, I believe, and GDDR6X. So that is a big improvement, and apparently it's much more power efficient. That's really going to reduce the thermal output on these cards. So that is really good to see, because again, as I said, these are really small form factor cards, particularly like for the 5090. It's going to fit in some SFX builds and things like that. So I think that's going to go a long way to supporting that. Nvidia will also tell you that GDDR7 is optimized for AI and machine learning workloads, but the increased bandwidth is obviously going to support that, so there you go. And the third big thing is obviously DLSS 4, which is setting the world on fire right now. All those fake frames, Jensen out there making some extraordinary claims.
Now, with the Blackwell family, RTX 5070, 4090 performance at 549. Impossible without artificial intelligence. Impossible without the 4 teraops of AI tensor cores Impossible without the G7 memories.
So let's dig into what DLSS 4 is going to do for us. So Nvidia says the big improvements to DLSS 4 are the neural rendering pipelines, which combine traditional raster with advanced neural network techniques. So this process is said to improve efficiency and also provide sharper and faster frames for upscaling, which improves general rendering as well. They're also talking about a huge reduction in latency with improvements to Nvidia Reflex. Some of the ML improvements for DLSS 4 are said to significantly reduce latency with Nvidia Reflex, where traditional upscaling introduce it. It's actually working harder to reduce it, and that's got something to do with the multi-frame generation, providing more frames to learn off in the pipeline. So multi-frame generation works by using AI-driven frame interpolation to generate new frames within the pipeline to support higher frame rates and significantly improve the frame smoothness. I've heard Steve from Hardware on Box mention that it is mainly a smoothing technology, so I'm not going to pretend to understand what he's talking about there, but I'm interested to learn more. So traditionally, when frame generation introduces a new frame in the pipeline, it has to learn, but as I understand it, with the more tensor cores, with more CUDA cores able to learn faster, and that has scaled up the frame generation pipeline, so they're learning off more frames ahead of the traditional frame. So they take the traditional frame, they take some from before and after, and then they're able to generate more frames based on the more information provided. So they're looking back a little bit further and looking a bit further ahead to help continue to produce more frames. That's how I sort of understand it in my head. If you want the explain it to me like I'm 5 version. So there you go. I'm not quite sure how it's not introducing more input latency. You would think with the multi-frames that it would be adding more latency, but they've worked it out. So I'm really looking forward to learning more and understanding how this works. Apparently it's a big improvement, and not only that, it's also said to be better optimized across a wider range of games. So it's supported in older games, and it is easily implemented in newer games. So that's really good news that we've got some greater support for this technology in older games with support for DLSS 4. Now, the caveat to all that is that DLSS 4 will only be available initially on the 50 series. That is a little bit disappointing to me because, as far as I can tell, there are certain aspects of the implementation of DLSS 4 that should work on all CUDA cores. So, these technologies should be supported on older cards, but it doesn't seem like Nvidia are doing that. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that Nvidia should just support DLSS 4 as soon as it's implemented on older cards if the technology is capable? Let me know in the comments down below, because DLSS in this generation has obviously become a big draw for the cards. Machine learning AI workloads was the primary focus of Jensen's CES announcement for the 50 series of cards, talking about the 4090 performance at 4070 Ti. I think crazy stuff, but only can be done with machine learning, can be done with AI upscaling and all that stuff. So has it become the premium feature that we should be letting Nvidia, AMD, and Intel sell their GPUs on, or do you just see it as a feature that should be implemented when it's available? Let me know in the comments down below. Another thing that I really wanted to touch upon is these Founders Editions cards, because these things are absolutely stunning, and they are just a marvel of engineering. They've put a lot of work into the new design of the Founders Editions cards, and I absolutely love them. I think they are the best looking GPUs that I've ever seen. I really like them. Like, based on the looks alone, I've gone, oh geez, I'd love to have one of those in my rig. So these Founders cards have a new flow through design with their cooling solution. So the fin stack spreads out almost like a spider that allows for dual upward flow through from both the fans and significantly reduces temps. They've also put a lot of work into the cooling solution's vapor chamber, which is really exciting. It's also worth noting that only the Founders Edition cards are going to have that design. So you might have seen from the CES content coverage that there are still going to be those huge GPUs getting around. So some of those 5090s are bigger than my head, and this thing's big, baby. But the Founders Edition just looks really sleek and beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how it performs with some of those big beefy cards getting around, and what the cooling solution actually how the cooling solution actually performs. So that's still yet to be known, but I think they look fantastic. If they can cool the GPUs like some of those big beefy boys, then Nvidia are really onto something there. It'll also really be interesting to see how add-in board partners sort of implement this dual flow through design and these new vapor chambers after Nvidia launches the Founders Edition cards. These things are going to be in short supply. Should also mention that they do not come cheap. The 5090 starting at $1,999 US. That is over $3,200 Australian. So it is mind-blowingly expensive. The 3080 comes in at $999 US, which is a more reasonable $1,600 Australian. So it's a little less bitter pill to swallow, and that's why I think it's the more interesting card. So to sum up, I am really excited about Nvidia's 50 series of GPUs. It's been a really exciting time. These things are too bloody expensive. With the lower class cards, the 70 series coming later in February, I think that's going to be most people's speeds. It'll be interesting to see who jumps right on these 5080s and 5090s. If you're going for the big boys, let me know in the comments down below. I'm really excited to hear what you guys are going to do with your new builds and your new GPUs, and looking forward to all the performance reviews and things like that. Anyway, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I had a really good time making this one. I hope you had a good time watching it. Stay subscribed. Let me know in the comments what you're doing with your new builds, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.